Hi, I'm Abigail Scher. I'm 18 years old and I attend West Virginia University. To throw some knowledge at you right off the bat, according to the American Psychological Association, at least half of a person's susceptibility to drug addiction can be linked to genetic factors. That being said, I am both the daughter of someone who has struggled with addiction, as well as the sister to two people who have struggled with addiction. In this mini-doc, I will interview members of my family to prove one thing. Those who suffer from the disease of addiction are human. They should be thought of and treated as such, despite what their disease can appear to turn them into. To start off, I will introduce some facts and statistics revolving around addiction. Then I will introduce you to my family members and proceed from there. To give an idea of the grip this disease has on our country, according to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, over 7 million Americans in 2014 battled a drug use disorder, and this number only continues to rise. To put this into perspective, the country of Hong Kong has a population of around 7 million. Despite the large number of those that suffer with a drug problem, according to the National Survey on Drug Use and Health, in 2013, only 10.9% of the individuals who needed treatment in a specialized facility for a substance use or dependency concern actually received it. To get more specific, coming from Vox, opioids have been the key driver in the recent U.S. increase in drug overdose deaths, from nearly 17,000 in 1999 to more than 64,000 in 2016. And most importantly, for the sake of this video, according to a Pew survey, 46% of Americans have a friend or family member with a current or past drug addiction. This survey showed that no matter someone's sex, age, race, education level, or even political party, nearly half of all Americans know someone personally who is or has struggled with a drug problem. Now I will introduce you to my family members and get on into the interviews. The questions were mostly formulated to provide a basic knowledge of the disease of addiction, as well as show the fact that those who struggle with it are indeed human. Hope you enjoy.
Okay, my name is Hans Scherer. I am 53 years old, and I am Abby's father. I was addicted to opioids and possibly alcohol.
Hi, my name is Laura Scherer. I am 52 years old. I'm the wife of an addict and the mother of two addicts.
Hi, my name is Katrina. I'm 22 years old and I was addicted to heroin, crack, and alcohol.
Hi, my name's Emily Scherer. I'm 24 years old and I'm the daughter and sister of addicts.
Can you first describe Dad, how he is when he is sober?
I would say he is a little bit more understanding.
Talkative, he's funny, he's interested in what you have to say in a conversation.
He can be a lot of fun without being under the influence.
He is definitely more social. He wants to be around everybody more.
Wants to participate more within the family.
He's just a better person all around to be around.
Can you describe how he is when he is under the influence?
Kind of distances himself. You can just tell something's off a little bit.
He can become mean, agitated very easily.
He's more agitable.
Can you describe how Erica is when she is sober?
You know, just funny and
a good mom.
She's been more in contact with me.
She is fun to be around.
How would you describe Erica when she's under the influence?
She, again, can become mean.
Definitely out of it.
She seems to, when she was using, she wasn't around. She was never with, she didn't want to be with the family. She didn't want to, she wouldn't even have contact with us at all. She wouldn't text me. She wouldn't call me.
She's very down about herself. And I feel like Erica, more than anyone, kind of, when she's under the influence, she knows, she just feels bad about it.
Yeah, she just closed up and stayed away.
Next, can you describe how Katrina is when she's sober?
She's high energy.
Very much like Erica.
A hard worker, knows, basically, I guess, right from wrong. She actually cares.
So how would you describe her under the influence?
She just very sneaky,
Completely different, literally.
kept her distance, wouldn't come out of her room. She pretty much stayed in her room.
Kind of doesn't think about anything through, I guess, before doing it.
She also was, it seems like that's a common factor, being angry or being mean with all of them.
So based on those descriptions, according to the Mayo Clinic, symptoms of drug addiction can include continuing to use the drugs even though you know it's causing problems in your life or causing you physical and psychological harm, doing things to get the drug that you normally wouldn't do, such as stealing, driving or doing other risky activities while under the influence of the drug, and relapsing. Would you say that you could pick up on these symptoms in Katrina, Erica, and Dad?
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yep. As I said, even it goes down to, the stealing, doing, your dad was always a very conscious of our money. And when he borrowed, he brought up, used credit cards, something he never really liked to do. He got them at a high balance, and basically we had to claim bankruptcy because it became too much, and that was so not like him at all. He was always very conscious of our money and kept us on a budget.
What would you say is the best thing you've done or accomplished in your life?
That would be becoming your mother's husband.
Definitely carrying baby Oakland, even though she's not trying to make her appearance.
Well, being a mother of 4 daughters, that's a big accomplishment.
Also, I would have to say moving out at a young age, considering everything that was going on at that time.
When I did starting the school, because that's been a big part of my life. I've worked there for 21 years, and getting my college degree many years later after stopping.
The best thing I've ever done or accomplished in my life is get clean, which doesn't say a lot for somebody who isn't an addict, but for me, it's given me so many openings in life. I just have so many opportunities in life now that getting clean has opened up for me, and that is why that is the best thing that's happened in my life, along with my child that is on the way, and the man who has helped me obviously make this child and be there for me and show me that there's a better way to live. He has done nothing but lift me up and has helped keep me clean. So those would be the best 3 things that I've accomplished in my life.
Going on the flip side of that, what would you say is the worst thing you've done, and were you high at the time?
I would have to say that, yes, I was probably under the influence, and I've always just taken unnecessary risks, when uninhibited by substances.
The worst thing that I have ever done is between me and my high power. But I can say I was definitely high or drunk when doing the worst things that I've ever done. I would never do any of the things that I did while using sober.
Do you have any favorite memories from childhood?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's kind of a collective. When I think of, memories from my childhood, I just think of my entire childhood as a whole being wonderful.
My favorite childhood memory would be going to Germany, all the different vacations we went on as a child. Just being a child was my favorite memory. I loved growing up. Sure, I had some depression and anxiety growing up, but still being a child it was nice. I grew up well.
So in one of the books we read, titled Clean, the author writes that getting clean is traumatic, and the reward can be the very hell the addict was running away from in the first place. Would you agree, or can you relate to this description of getting clean?
I can relate to that.
Absolutely.
At first, when I got clean, yeah, it was very traumatic. Like, I had to face reality. Like, when I was using, I was running away from reality. I didn't want to face it.
I think that a lot of people get started down that path because drugs and or alcohol can offer a brief respite from, the problems and the suffering of life. However, unfortunately, a lot of us keep returning to it over and over again, and then it starts adding to the problems, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And then trying to get clean, if it's become such a habit and it's become such a part of your life, a lot of people would probably tell you they'd rather die than have their crutch taken away.
So the website cascadementalhealth.org states that recovery from drug use requires people to become motivated to make significant changes. Would you agree with this claim? Is motivation what really made it click for you?
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
Motivation plays a part in it, but you have to want it. You really have to want it.
So would you say it's more of an internal motivation?
Yes, it is definitely more of an internal motivation. It can't be a family member. It can't be, like, my sisters and my parents can't keep me clean. My boyfriend can't keep me clean. I have to want to stay clean on my own.
Motivation was key, but actually in my case, I think often the motivation comes from the negative aspects of our addiction, whether we have hurt somebody or done something or we're just, we've just escaped death or something. I guess a lot of times the motivation can be fear too. It was more like, I don't want that to happen again. I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to put people through that again. Those kind of, and those are motivations, probably more powerful than, getting some pep talk from a counselor. Mm-hmm. It's the kind of rock bottom type experiences that people talk about.
Again, from the book we read, titled Clean, there is a quote that says, "Addiction is the only disease whose patients are refused treatment for showing their symptoms." And my question is, have you ever been kicked out of rehab, and how many times?
Yes, I have definitely been kicked out of rehab. I honestly can't say how many times because I don't know, but that quote definitely hits home because most of the time I've gotten kicked out of rehab is for getting high.
According to drugrehab.com, 30-day detox prices range from $250 to $800 per day. Residential treatment can cost between $2,000 and $20,000, and outpatient rehab can cost around $5,000 to $10,000. How did you manage to handle these costs?
Oh, well, with Erica and your father, they went to a very expensive rehab. It was a not outpatient, inpatient rehab, 30-day rehab. And actually that's where OMA paid for both Erica and your dad. Paid for that. I do remember one thing is with Erica and your father, it was all happening at the same time. They literally went into treatment the exact same within a day of each other. Now, Katrina, all of hers were state funded. She had, it was not paid by us at all. She was, all of it was through, I guess, Medicaid, is how she went to it.
So without the assistance and like the insurance and stuff, do you think you would have been able to cover the cost of each treatment?
Absolutely not. No, there's no way.
NorthPointWashington.com put out an infographic stating that almost half of America's substance abusers are also victims of mental disorders or have developed them as a result of excessive drug use. Do you have any co-occurring mental disorders alongside addiction?
I suffer from depression, anxiety a little bit.
Depression, anxiety, and borderline personality disorder.
But I'm on a lot of prescription drugs that kind of balance me out.
Which explains a lot with me growing up and explains a lot with everything I've done, like between addiction and self-harm and just everything that I've done. Like my co-occurring disorders explain that. And if I don't keep my anxiety, depression, and borderline personality disorder in check, if I don't take the medications I'm supposed to, go to therapy like I'm going, I will relapse. If I don't treat my mental disorders, then how am I supposed to treat my addiction?
In a study done by Steve Matthews, Robin Dwyer, and Anka Snoke, they cite Owen Flanagan, who proposed an account of addiction that includes a shame condition. They write that addicted persons interpret themselves as both failing in effective agency and not living up to their own normative standards, and their recognition of this leads to a set of negative self-regarding attitudes, central to these being shame. Did your addiction bring along a sense of shame? How did you handle those feelings, and what was it like?
Yeah, I think it's impossible for anybody who becomes addicted to something to escape feeling shame.
Yes, it brought a lot of shame. I was embarrassed as to who I had become. I definitely embarrassed my family as well, and that's shameful in itself.
Shame can be a powerful, back to your motivation question, shame can be a powerful motivator as well. However, that's to assume that the addiction hasn't taken such a full hold as to make the addict completely incapable of changing his or her behavior. They just take the shame, they take the guilt, but then they knock it back with whatever they're taking.
Like, I wasn't living a normal life or being a normal person. I was just existing. Like, I wasn't actually living like a human being should. I was just existing in the world. And I felt shameful that I had gone nowhere in life. I had reached 21 years old and I had nothing to show for myself. I hadn't graduated high school. I hadn't gone to college. I didn't have a job. I couldn't hold a job. It was shameful. Like, I felt so guilty.
What would you say is your favorite memory with Dad, if you can think of a specific one?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I mean, we have been married 30 years. Just when we would be able to go out and we would have fun. We always had fun, whatever we were doing, going on vacation.
Do you have a favorite memory with Erica, or like a general?
When I was able to be with her, with Kaylee and Noah, having, that was a, being there as part of her having children, that was pretty cool. Just her, I can remember her helping you girls. I would remember that being such a big help because there were 4 of you. So she was very good with you, I will say, because you were, the last, and she was the oldest. So she was 10 when you were born, and she was a big help.
What is your favorite memory with Katrina?
Watching her play soccer, I will say, I thoroughly enjoyed that. And that could even go back to with Erica as well. She just her contagious laugh. She has when she's funny, mm-hmm. and Erica is too. I think about it, all very funny when I do remember that about her. When she is sober, that is a trait of hers. She just can be so funny.
Do you have any specific or general favorite memories with Erica, Katrina, and Dad?
Just growing up in general, I feel like I can say childhood up until the stuff started happening. Mm-hmm. But I honestly feel like I enjoyed my childhood with everyone. I mean, we're sisters. We got into it. Don't get me wrong. But I loved it.
What would you say is your favorite color?
It used to be orange, but I don't really have a favorite color anymore. I mean, they're all great.
Pink.
My favorite color is baby blue.
Purple.
Do you have a favorite song or movie or book?
No, I love music, country music. Actually, I love all kinds of music. I can't just say that. I like Christian, I like country, pop.
Favorite book, of course, would be the Bible.
I have two favorite songs. Meet Virginia by Train and Praying by Kesha. Both of those songs I just can relate to. I know everybody can relate to a song in some type of way, and those two songs I relate to the most.
A favorite book? No, I love to read. So I can't really say I've found a favorite one.
My favorite TV show is definitely a tie between Pretty Little Liars and Prison Break.
Favorite song? Geez, there's so many of them I couldn't even tell you. I like rock and roll. How about a genre?
Do you have any favorite jokes?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the one that just popped in my mind, you probably heard me tell it ad nauseum. But a man and his son are sitting in a canoe in the middle of a lake fishing. And the boy's about, 7, 8 years old. And he's a pretty, deep thinker. And so while they're sitting there, waiting for a fish to bite, the little boy looks at his dad and says, "Daddy, where do I get my smarts from?" And his daddy kind of, pulled his hat off and scratched his head a little bit, queried the question, and turned to his son and said, "Well, son, you must get them from your mother, because I still got mine."
What words would you use to describe a stereotypical drug addict?
I would say dirty.
Definitely say lazy.
Selfish.
Maybe irresponsible.
Unreliable.
Like manipulative.
Rude.
Scary.
My name is Hans Scherer.
I was addicted to heroin, crack, and alcohol,
I'm addicted to opioids.
and I am